Hi there, my name is Tyler Roicki and welcome to my channel. I recently made a video about the 3 things that I hate about my Nissan 370z. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out somewhere around here. And so in this video, to be completely fair and actually more than generous, I'm going to share the 5 things that I love about my Nissan 370z. And if you notice, it's 5 things because I actually love a lot more about this car than I hate. I love it when the speed limit is 60 miles an hour and you can just nail the throttle without worrying about there being a cop. Car, my 3 cars where I don't have a radar detector, and I actually tried to use one in here, and I think one of my fuses is out for the outlets or whatever, so I don't have one in here as a result, and I don't really want to buy another Valentine. It seems they've gone up in value since I bought one. I don't think they've changed anything with it, but last time I bought one was probably 5 or 6 years ago. They used to sell for $400 and something, and now they cost like $800. So I guess there's a limited amount of them left or something. I really don't know, but they're expensive now unless you get a used one. So the first thing that I absolutely love about the Nissan 370z is the design. I remember when this car first came out, when it was brand new, and that was back, you're talking as a 2009 model, so that was over 10 years ago now. That was probably, I want to say 11 or 12 years when they actually unveiled it. And I love the way the design looked, because initially I really liked the 350z, so I was really excited to see what they were replacing it with. And this was back in the time where I still played car video games. Back then I played a lot of video games. Nowadays I spend my time driving the cars, and I don't really play video games anymore, unfortunately. But back then I did, and I remember I was so excited when, I think it was Need for Speed, when the car first came out, to drive one and customize my own in the video game, because it was like being able to live vicariously and to just experience the car in the game. I just thought it was such a sweet car, and just the aesthetics of it, I just loved the way the car looked. I love the sharpness of the design, and just, you know, the way the headlights look, the way the tail lights kind of curve into the body, and really just the sort of wide stance that the car has with the fenders and the curvature of it. I really think it's such a beautiful car. And the interior is pretty simple, nothing crazy, but I do like the way the gauges are laid out. I mean, it really is an aesthetically appealing car, and I still think to this day, it's 2020 when I'm shooting this video, incredibly enough, Nissan still has the 370z in the exact same design, short of adding HID lights on the front and a couple little tweaks like that. It's still the exact same design, so I think if you consider that, it's a time-tested design. When Nissan came out of it, the design was very ahead of its time, to the point where they were able to keep it in production for 10 years. And again, it's just a gorgeous car. That's the first thing I love about the Nissan 370z. The second thing I love about my 370z, and again, I'm speaking on my own car, is one, that it's a 6-speed manual. That was a very crucial factor in the decision of me buying one. I wanted a manual 370z. But that aside, mine is actually a 40th anniversary edition, and it really is an appearance package with the car. There's not anything in the way of added performance. So it started off, the 40th anniversary starts off as a touring model 370z. So it has the bumpers of a touring model, especially in the front, you can see it, and then also the wing of a touring model. But you lose the navigation, which I don't mind that really, because it's sort of dated by today's standards. But then it really is an appearance package that you get. You you get the 40th anniversary graphite exterior with the red real leather interior with suede inserts, and you have engraved seat backs and floor mats, and you also have red stitching that is seen on the knee pads, and then also part of where the dash is, and also the shifter, which also the shifter, by the way, is covered in real leather, as well as the steering wheel. And on the exterior, you get the forged wheels, and they're in a smoked gray finish, and to me it just looks so gorgeous. It's got kind of a metallic, almost a metallic flake look to the wheels. And then you also get the red brake calipers. That look was very much in at the time this car came out, so it's just got such a sporty look to it, and the paint on this car is really incredible. It's such a gorgeous metallic gray color, and to me this is the perfect spec for a Nissan Z. Anniversary edition was limited to 1,000 units, so there's only 1,000 cars that Nissan produced with this visual appearance package, and I think they absolutely nailed it with the spec. And from the very first time I saw this spec, I thought it was the perfect spec for a Nissan Z, so I'm very happy that I was able to find one of these, because it's not every day that you find one for sale. So that's the second thing I love about, again, my 370Z. The third thing I love about my Nissan 370Z is the driving experience. So it is a fast car, but not dangerously so, in my opinion, because I'm used to driving my Corvette Z06. Performance-wise, this car does not hold a candle to it whatsoever, but it is a quick car. You can have fun in it, at least in my opinion. Again, you can have fun with it without getting into serious trouble, because it takes longer to push it. If you're going, if you're pushing a triple digit speed, it takes longer to get there. You have more time to think about what you're doing. With faster cars, that's not really the case. You can be on the throttle for a few seconds, and before you know it, you're going well into the triple digits, and that's dangerous. That's dangerous. You have to be very aware of what you're doing. And my thought is, the higher the performance of the car, the more aware and conscious you have to be about what you're doing and the speed you're going at any given time, because you can get yourself in some serious trouble. This car, again, it takes longer to get there. I'm not saying it's slow. It is a quick car, and when you're pushing it towards the top of second and third gear, this car's got some serious juice in it, and I love that aspect of it, with the fact that you get 332 horsepower. It's very usable. And then also the driving experience is very raw. I was actually very surprised at how raw this car was. I didn't really expect that at all. And on my other video, I mentioned that sort of in a negative light, but the reality is, if you want a sports car, I think there's value in having a rawness factor to it. So to me, I wasn't expecting the rawness that this car has, with the fact that you can buy a Nismo that's more of a performance version of the 370Z than this car. I thought that the rawness factor might have been reserved for the Nismo, but this car is a very raw feeling car. You really feel the road in it. It really is a raw driving experience, not something I would expect from a daily driver, but you can daily drive this car, there's no doubt about it. It's just not going to be much of a luxury experience. It really is a true sports car. So the driving experience, it's a fun car to drive. To me, I look forward to my drives hopping in this car, because I know if I choose to, it's going to be a very fun experience to switch the gears, maybe pop on the throttle a little bit, and just have a good time. So that's the third thing I love about my Nissan 370Z. The fourth thing I love about my Nissan 370Z is the exhaust note. And my car in particular, it's stock, it's factory, but I have always loved the way that the Nissan 350Zs and 370Zs sounded from the factory. I just think it has a pleasant sounding exhaust note to it. And more so from the outside, if you're listening, I guess as a bystander than driving it, it does have a different sort of sound when you're in the cabin versus outside. I really like the way it sounds from the outside. Inside, you get more of the engine sound, and it's not the best sounding car by any means, but you do get an enjoyable experience with the way the exhaust sounds, in my opinion. I know that many people would probably prefer to make it louder, and they do, and you have that option, but to me, I think it has the right kind of sound for a car from the factory. And what's really neat too about the 370Z, at least mine has the option where it automatically blips the throttle when you downshift if you're in sport mode, which I am right now, but it automatically blips the throttle when you downshift. So for instance, I'm gonna do it right now. 4th gear, and I don't think you can hear it because it's not that loud, but it matches the revs for me when I'm downshifting and makes it to where it's going to be a perfectly timed downshift every time without me doing anything. And it also sounds cool when you do that, because it just sounds like you made a perfect shift without actually doing it yourself. So it makes you look like a professional race car driver without really doing anything. So that's the 4th thing I love about my Nissan 370Z. And the 5th and final thing I love about the Nissan 370Z is the affordability. And really that comes down to the full package and value you get for the price that you can get a nice example of one of these for right now. It's got a great engine. It's fairly quick and powerful, again with a 332 horsepower V6 engine. And for the price, it's not at such a high price point or so exclusive that I'm afraid to drive it. I don't mind parking this car just about anywhere. I'm not afraid to drive it. It doesn't stick out like a sore thumb in most places. And to me, it's just a car that I can enjoy driving without sweating about what's happening to it while I'm gone. And I like that aspect of it a lot, because I hate to say it, but when you take a expensive car out to drive, at least relatively more expensive, there is some factor to where it takes away from the experience when you're worried about just leaving it somewhere. To me, that takes a little bit away from the experience. But maybe it's a relative thing. Maybe it's relative to what other cars you have. It's just my experience, because I find myself driving the Corvette a lot less just because it's my most valuable car, which that will change. So I'm kind of curious to see how that changes over time as I upgrade my vehicles in the time ahead. You can pick up a 370Z base or touring model. You have options in the $10,000 to $15,000 range for a nice example, and it's going to vary depending on the mileage and options for a nice clean example. So $10,000 to $15,000, again, you get a car that is very fun to drive, a true sports car, a great engine. I mean, Nissan's developed and tested and used this engine in so many cars. I think it's got a reliability factor to it that you won't find if you're looking at some of your options that are kind of more foreign, like some of the German cars. You get a different driving experience, but you don't get the same level of reliability and dependability, I believe, that you will get from an import car such as this, with an engine that's as tried and true and tested as you get in this one. So I think all around, this car is a phenomenal value for the price if you're looking for a true sports car within that $10,000 to $15,000 range. For the power that you get from the factory and the overall package, I think you'd be hard pressed to beat it in terms of the amount of power you get, the fact that you can get a raw true sports car, also with the dependability and really the whole package that you get for the price. My 370Z 40th anniversary MSRP came in just under $40,000. It was $39 and change, and then the base to the touring would range anywhere from the mid-30s into the 40s depending on what specs, what options you got. And so brand new $40,000, I was able to get this car at auction for $12,000 with 91,000 miles. It was wholesale, so direct dealer only auction. So that was a wholesale price. I believe the retail value on my car currently is probably closer to about $14,000, perhaps slightly more, depending on who wants it, because you don't find a 40th anniversary every day, especially one that's clean, that doesn't have any crazy history like mine. Mine has a good history. I like buying cars with a good history. It just makes it less of a problem potentially with any weird things that might come up. You know, if you get a car that's been hit, you might have to worry about, you know, if they fix the suspension properly or something like that. So I don't like anything out of the realm of ordinary. And plus, then I don't have to deal with it when I'm reselling it. You know, if a car's got a clean history, it's got a clean history. It's what most people want, and including myself. It just makes my experience better, at least more likely that it's better, and provides less of an issue for me when it's time to move on and get the next car. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching it. Those are the 5 things that I love about the Nissan 370z. And to sum it up, the design, the spec and options on mine, which is a 40th anniversary edition, the driving experience, the exhaust note, and the affordability and value you get with the full package on the Nissan 370z. If you enjoyed this video, please support it by giving me a like. Smash that like button for me so that I can continue making more videos about my cars and more of my experiences with cars in the future. And if you'd like to be a part of that journey with me, I would ask that you hit that subscribe button right now so that I may include you in my future fun and drives with cars like these. Anyway, thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.